Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Honestly, I didn't expect to be on here to talk to you guys about this today, but we are here nonetheless to talk about what the heck is going on, and our country is losing its doggone mind. More HBCUs have been attacked and other universities as well, thrown into this whole mother-loving mess. And man, this is just getting out of hand. Okay, this is just getting this is insane. All right, just so you know, this is just crazy. And more information is still pouring out because of boom threats. Yeah, boom threats, y'all. Multiple universities. Now, let me just say this. Before I play the theme music and, get the warm-up music going back on, let me just say this. Right now, it sounds like these are all pranks or like disturbing, messed up hoaxes. And I'm very thankful for that, if that is entirely true. Not all of them have been cleared as of yet, but a bunch have. And it looks like it's just a bunch of hoaxes. I'm happy for that. But I'm not happy that we're doing threats like this. All right? And this is going on throughout everywhere. And they're saying there's some reports that there are threats going on in India as well. Airports and schools in India as well. This is going on not only just on American soil, but this is also going on internationally as well in India. So I don't know what the heck is going on. Again, these are all hoaxes, but at the same time, this is just getting, like I said earlier, yes, this is getting out of hand. I mean, the first boom threat, already out of hand. You see what I'm saying? The first fake assailant on a campus, already out of hand. You see what I'm saying? But now it's becoming a thing. I don't know why. And I don't know if it's this is in response to what Pete Hegseth and Trump just recently did or had today, okay? Which we will most likely be talking about that this evening, tapping into what they talked about at their meeting, which was televised as well, which is surprising to say the least, all right? But again, whoever's doing this, whatever group of people, because this is a group of people, y'all. Somebody's hacking into something. They're able to do something. And this already should not be happening in the first place. But they need to stop this person or these persons as soon as possible, because this could be a recipe for some serious disastrous results. You realize this is only emboldening or incentivizing other people to do some really bad things, guys. Like, I don't think the people who are doing this realize that. But this is only going to trigger people to do very, very bad things. So again, this has got to stop. But like I said, putting the feel-good music on, because we ain't talking about things that make us feel good here in just a minute. So I'm going to play it, because of course we got to talk about these other things real quick. So do me a favor, before we get into everything, hit that like button down below, crush it, do it, hit that reaction button, please, and thank you. If you are watching on these other platforms, please make sure you're following. Follow. Okay, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you're on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, please make sure you're following on all those platforms. Okay, follow. Make sure you're subscribed here on my channel, on my YouTube channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Make sure you do that. Okay. Hold on one second, guys. Just pulling up a few things. Okay. Make sure you're subscribed here on my main channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Go to my third channel, Pascal Raw. Subscribe over there. Hit that notification bell. Make sure you know that just so you know that. Hit that notification bell, set it to all so you know when I'm going live, whatever I upload, because a lot of times it's breaking news. It's breaking news type of stuff like this, where we have to talk about this type of tragedy, right? If only we could just hang out and make jokes all day long. Unfortunately, we can't. But make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Okay, we're going to get straight into this, okay? But go check it out, all right? We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. All right, guys, there's some really crazy stuff that's going on. Now, I got to read something off camera, off screen really quick, just so you guys know, all right? There have been several threats throughout the country right now. Active responses, evacuations throughout multiple college campuses happened today. Here's a list of some of them that we know so far. Towson University in Baltimore, okay? They evacuated after a boom boom threat, and the campus officials and police are investigating all of that right now. Lone Star College in University Park, also like Houston, Texas area. Library and adjacent buildings were evacuated after an email boom boom threat. Law enforcement, canines, and campus police conducted sweeps. Monroe County Community College in Michigan, okay? Campus evacuated. Classes have been canceled after this boom boom threat as well. Investigators swept the campus. Morgan State University in the Baltimore area, Maryland. Library evacuation reported after another, of course, like I said, boom boom threat. Campus police are handling the scene right now as we speak. Okay. And now they're saying also that allegedly multiple schools and airports in India are also getting a large batch of emailed threats, okay, that have hit hundreds of schools and some airports. Many of these incidents are being treated as hoaxes, which of course we are all looking at this as one big old hoax, okay, and are under cyber terror hoax investigation. Again, I don't know why this whole thing is going down the way it is, all right? But it is going down nonetheless. And this is just insane. All right. So let's get into this conversation. I appreciate all y'all for being here, because this is a matter of, this is a national emergency. And no, I'm really not trying to fearmonger. I'm really not. I got better things to do than to be out here trying to scare everybody. I'm just trying to give you guys full on warning and a full on heads up. There's a lot of really bad things going on. It's somebody with a very sick sense of humor, very sick, demented sense of humor, thinks that doing these hoaxes is funny, is entertainment, and that's not good. Why? Because this could incentivize other people that could incentivize other people to do stuff like this, to actually exact this. You know, let's not forget what happened just a couple days ago at a Mormon church. Let's not forget something like that happened. And he had boom boom devices. That whole church went down in flames. Long story short, I hate to say it, but what he wanted to do, he did it. What he wanted to do, he did it. It's not like he attempted. He did it. So this is a huge concern of mine, okay? Because the more we start hearing these, the more somebody's going to go, man, they keep doing these hoaxes. Let me just do the real thing. Think about that for a second, y'all. Put that in your pipe and smoke on it just for a hot minute. That is some terrible, terrifying, disturbing stuff. So let's continue. Let's take a look. Like I said, there's a bunch going on here. All right. And this is not going to be a super long live because a lot of these things have already kind of wrapped up. Okay. Not all of them, from my understanding, unless, they've wrapped up since I started going live. But nonetheless, this is really going on. Multiple universities are investigating these threats. Okay. Morgan State evacuates library. Towson. Now they said Towson said all clear on that. There was also a situation at a military base, if I'm correct, just earlier, just a little bit ago. Like this is absolutely insane. And like I said, I don't know if this is an uptick or a reaction to Pete Hegseth and Trump's meeting with top brass today. I don't know. Because I know some people don't like what they had to say. And let me just say this. I'm not taking any sides. I'm just stating facts. Some people do not like what they had to say during that meeting. And maybe this is a reaction to that. Maybe, because it just seems so odd that after a little bit after everything goes down, a little bit after they have their meeting, which we'll tap in on just a little bit, okay, in just a little bit, okay, just so you understand a little bit of what's going on here, because I know some of y'all are, don't know what's going on or maybe a little late to the party. But as soon as they said what they said, all of a sudden all this breaks out. It's got to be connected. It's got to be connected. Don't you think? Like I said, I ain't taking no sides or nothing like that. But for sure, this has got to be a reaction. This has got to be a reaction to what Hegseth and Trump said to top brass in the Pentagon, or in Quantico, in the Pentagon, earlier today. Which, by the way, I didn't know it was going to be televised, y'all. And then suddenly, there it is in all of its glory. I'm like, damn, I just missed all of that? Shoot. Because I would have watched that. It was definitely something to watch. We may watch a few clips of that a little bit later on this evening. Because, they said a lot. There was a lot being said there. I will say that. But let's get into this, okay? And I'm praying everyone's safe, because no matter what, it doesn't matter. This is still terrifying. This still affects a lot of those students, right? That still affects our kids when they're in that university, just doing their thing, matriculating, right? Studying, getting ready for the big midterm or the big exam that's coming up, right? Writing their papers and all that. And all of a sudden, they're terrified because there's a boom threat in their school. This still affects people. Yeah, it's a hoax, but it still terrifies the hell out of people. Like I said, our kids should not be worried and wondering if they're going back home in a body bag. Real talk. They shouldn't. But anyway, let's continue. Ride, tell River I said what up. I hope he's feeling well. Okay. What up, River? Okay. So officials at Baltimore area universities are investigating threats received Tuesday today, okay, at their campuses. Towson University issued an all-clear message around 1 p.m. after having sent an emergency notification saying it was evacuating the university union after receiving a threat. And when I say threat, you know exactly what it is. You can see the title up above or down below, wherever you're seeing this. I'm just going to skip the word instead of saying boom, boom, because it feels weird saying boom, boom all the time. Anyway, anyone inside the building was told to evacuate and clear the area. They say this is not a drill. Follow all instructions from authorities. All other individuals should stay away from the area of University Union. If you are not on campus, stay away until notified of an quote unquote all clear from campus officials. So around 12:45 p.m., TU, Towson University, released an update saying the Union and Union Garage remained closed. Classes elsewhere on campus were continuing as scheduled, which, by the way, I'd be like, we are going to evacuate the entire school. Doesn't matter. You don't know how big that boom could go, right? That explosion could go. You just don't know, right? But moving on, by 1 p.m., TU issued an all-clear message and reopened the university or the area, Union and Union Garage, which good. I'm very happy about that. Very, very happy about that. Moving on. So they evacuated after that, of course. Morgan State University said it received an email threat that indicated a possible explosive device at the Richardson Library. Officials are evacuating the library and officers are inspecting each floor. They say, we urge all members of the campus community to stay away from the Richardson Library until further notice or until an official all clear has been issued. The safety and well-being of our campus remain our highest priority. Please remain vigilant, and aware of your surroundings. As always, if you see something, say something. Anyone with information is to call the university's police department at 443-885-3103. So again, let's take a look. Let's see what they say here.
Saving on your education should be a right, not a competition.
Hold on. Gotta love this crappy. These ads, you know how these ads be. These doggone ads. 1 second. But again, guys, like I said, they have a lot of stuff going on. They got threats going on. There was allegedly a Apostle Bang Bang situation that happened on a military base. So again, this has been nonstop. Okay. At this point, I don't think anybody's going to be able to sleep. There's going to be constant updates like this all the time until it slows down. And here's the other thing too. Why is it hitting an all-time high right now? Think about that for a second. Why has there been an uptick in violence? Even in the threats. Why has there been an uptick like this? It's been a dramatic rise in the last several months. This is weird, but let me play this. Oh.
Just learned Morgan State University, and we are staying on top of breaking news. We have just learned Morgan State University is also investigating a bomb threat on campus. Baltimore police and Morgan State police have evacuated Richardson Library and are actively inspecting each floor of the library. They're asking all students and staff to stay away from the library until an all clear is given there. Stay with 11 News for updates on these breaking stories.
So again, Morgan State University evacuated. All right. Like I said, this has been insane, and this has been nonstop. All right. This has been a nonstop situation. And of course, we're trying to get as much information as we can because it can't stop, won't stop in this situation, which is very, very messed up and also very scary because, again, there are all kinds of different universities that are getting threatened, like I mentioned before. So 1 second, let me grab a couple things here. Let's go over to the Mirror. Yeah. So like I said, this is just very weird. But as you can see, multiple universities close after being hit with threats. Like I said, Towson University, Morgan State University. All right. Classes have been canceled and buildings have been evacuated after at least seven universities were hit with threats. 7 now. So you got Towson University, Morgan State University, Case Western Reserve University, Nazareth University, Alabama A&M University, and the LV building at the University of Alaska Fairbanks in the U.S. all reported threats today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Am I missing one here? They said 7 universities. Hold on. Towson, Morgan, Case Western, Nazareth, A&M, and University of Alaska Fairbanks. That's 6. What am I missing here? So they say the police said that the threat was for University Union, and that the students should evacuate from that building. The statement added, "This is not a drill, and people should stay away from the University Union." And this is somebody who put out a tweet. Right now, threat for the student union at Towson University. Police were seen outside the student union at Towson University. A cordon was also erected close to the site of the university. Maryland Congresswoman Sarah Elfreth said she and her team were monitoring the threats at Towson and Morgan State University. She added, "Please continue to follow the guidance of local law enforcement, evacuate and remain clear of the area. As a proud Towson Tiger and former professor, my heart is with our students, educators, and staff. Every student deserves to feel safe on their campus." I agree 110%. All right. And of course, this is Congresswoman Elfreth. Hopefully I'm saying that right. A&M University, a historically black college, okay, said in a post shared to X/Twitter, "Alert, university officials and safety authorities are aware of threats received by A&M University. Students, faculty, and staff, please stay clear of the J.F. Drake LRC area as the situation is investigated. Please monitor Bulldog alerts and campus emails for further information and updates." And this is from them right here. Let's take a look. Yeah. "If you're not on campus, please remain safe where you are." And this was an hour ago. Let's take a look. Let's just see if they say anything more. Now they're saying, okay, first off, they said, okay, if you're not out on campus, stay wherever you are. Don't even show up. Okay. Oh, it's Towson? My bad. It's Towson. My bad. Thank you so much for the correction. All right. But anyway, again, you have them saying A&M University is basically saying, yeah, we have Alabama A&M University is basically saying, yes, there was a threat. If you home, stay home, right? If you home, stay home. That's it. All right. Now they're saying a new update alert. An all clear has been issued for Alabama A&M University. There is no immediate threat to campus, and normal operations may now resume. Please remain safe. Please remain safety aware and monitor Bulldog alerts and AAMU emails for updates. I'm telling you right now, I ain't going back. Right? I'm not going back that day. I'll go back tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? Once you see a boom threat like that, I'm not, I'm staying home. I'm staying home for the day. You know what I mean? Respectfully, I'm staying home for the day. I'm out. We good. You know, but I'm out. Right? I'm out. So again, let's see. Nazareth University in upstate New York also reported the threat this morning. So this has been all throughout, Okay. This has been all throughout universities throughout the country, y'all. Okay. We're hearing things from as south as Houston, Texas, as far north as New York, even in Alaska, they're saying as far out east, or sorry, far out west as Alaska. That's insane, y'all. These are all threats. These are all boom boom threats, right? It's very weird. Very, very weird. And it does make you wonder why. Why is this happening? Could it be, a reaction to what Pete Hegseth and Trump said during their military meeting today? Or is it just these people just saying, I'm bored and I just feel like making people lose their minds today? You know? But anyway, Nazareth University, upstate New York. Canine units were seen investigating the scene near the library as students watched on. Let's take a look at this. I guess this is happening. Yeah, it's happening, girl. Shoot. You got a boom boom threat. Of course, people are going to lock this up. They ain't playing, son. What does it say here? Another one. Okay. Like DJ Khaled, another one. Nazareth University just evacuated its library and clock tower commons due to a boom boom threat. Canine unit on scene, authorities investigating, adding to today's troubling wave of campus threats. Rochester, New York. So again, what the hell is going on right now? And why is this happening? Is this some radicalized group that's just causing chaos for the sake of causing chaos? Or is it just a bunch of buttholes that are doing this? I'm sorry. I'm asking a question. I'm asking for a friend. Okay? Is this just a bunch of buttholes that just want to cause chaos for the sake of chaos? Actually, it's see all the above, right? Or see all the above. Is it buttholes that are radicalized, that are just trying to cause an issue, right? So is it see all the above? It could very well be see all the above, okay? But at the same time, it just doesn't make any sense that you would do. Why would you do this to these kids? Why would you do these to these kids? Is this a radicalized left, radicalized right group? What is it? Just doesn't make sense, y'all. I get scared that this is going to get worse, y'all. I get scared that this is going to get worse. Hear me out. Sorry, something's in my eye, but hear me out. With what happened with CK, right? What happened with Kirk? Definitely is incentivizing some people. That's for sure. I think that's without question. The reason why I think this is incentivizing people is because that actually happened. Kirk is no longer here. He's no longer breathing on this earth. And I'm not saying this to say this in a bad way. I'm not trying to say anything I'm not saying anything in any type of nefarious way. I'm just trying to point out that other people, these bad actors that are out here, that are wanting mayhem, that are wanting to do bad things, are seeing that. And it's in a very messed up and demented way. It's giving them hope. And then we're seeing more of this crap happening. And by the way, this stuff was happening, the pew pew threats and all that on campus and all that was happening before Kirk lost his life. And then it revved up even more after Kirk lost his life. Now, I look at this situation and I'm like, okay, he lost his life. It was absolutely Tragic. He shouldn't have lost his life this way at all. But what's happening? People are seeing that. And it's giving people inspiration to do more bad things. Look at what happened at the ICE facility, right? You have the ICE facility. He allegedly wrote anti-ICE on the ammunition. He's no longer here, but he also took out a few people before he went away. Then you look at the situation at the 3 different events. Actually, I think there was like 4 different events that happened just a few days ago, right? You had the riverbed, the restaurant on the riverbed in North Carolina. You had the situation at the casino in Texas. And then you had that absolute tragedy. All of them are absolute tragedies, but you had that mass tragedy that happened at that Mormon church, right? In Grand Blanc, Michigan. You don't think any of those people felt some sort of incentivization, right? Due to what happened to Kirk? That the alleged monster, the alleged assailant that took out Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson, didn't inspire these other people to do what they did? I'm just saying, think about it for a second. And now we're seeing this happen, and I get scared that this is only going to get worse. That like this is a foreshadowing of something very big and very bad that's going to happen. And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. And no, I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm just here to say something that I think everyone's thinking. And what's crazy about this is that no matter how prepared we say like we are, for whatever reason, personally, I'm saying we will never fully be ready. And that's one thing that terrifies the hell out of me. But again, we got this going on, and this is real. I mean, they're hoaxes, but these are real. So let's take a look at this. So another threat was reported at the LV building at the University of Alaska Fairbanks this morning. A statement shared by the university said police have received a report of a threat at the building, at the LV building. Prepare to evacuate and follow instructions from authorities. If you are not in the area, please stay away. Morning classes at the university's Troth Yetta, hopefully I'm saying this right, Yetta, campus are canceled. A statement from the university said class cancellation is happening because UAF received an email about a potential device near the LV building on West Ridge. Police have the area blocked off and don't believe there is any immediate danger, but will be searching the area to ensure that it is safe. In an abundance of caution, the university is closing offices in the area and canceling classes to allow police the time and space to confirm that no device is present. Case Western Reserve University in Ohio also announced it would evacuate buildings in the vicinity of Cleveland Institute of Art following a threat there too. Students were told, follow all instructions from emergency personnel. Following an evacuation at Lone Star College University Park in Texas, in the Houston area, police gave the all clear. Police were alerted to an email with a specific threat of a device at the LSC University Park Library, although the squad later cleared that actual building. So let's take a look at this. So chat my school, Prairie View A&M got a threat. Take a look.
Oh my god, bro.
I will say though, I do appreciate that, police, of course, taking it very seriously. They are not playing. They are definitely not playing with this situation. There's nothing to play with. This isn't funny. You know what I mean? This isn't a joke. This is terrifying. And if it was to be real, because here's the thing, you really, I feel like maybe they're doing this to exhaust people, to exhaust 5-0 to the point where they suddenly like, oh, it's probably a hoax. Let's not. They're not going to do that. They're going to take every single threat very, very seriously. They're not going to just gloss over it and be like, oh, just another hoax. No, they're going to take it seriously. They're going to take every hoax or every email that they receive like it's the real thing. Doesn't matter. They're going to go through the same procedures over and over and over again. They're hoping that, I don't know, I feel like the evils that be are hoping that they just, you know what I mean? They just lazily go through it because they've gone through it a million times before. But you also got to remember, they're not going to the same, they're not sending threats to the same schools over and over again. They're spreading this throughout. They're just hitting up random schools. You see what I'm saying? So, of course, every single university is going to take it the same way. They're going to jump on it exactly the same way. Now, are they trying to do this to test to see if there's a weakness at one of these schools? I don't know. But this is weird. Okay? This is definitely weird. Probing with serious intent. I mean, that's probably what it is. Right? They're just trying to see, like, where's the soft spot? And they're just poking random schools, just seeing how are they going to react? How are they going to react? How are they going to react? Oh, they didn't react at all, really. There's that one. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what it is. But this is insane. This is real. This is really happening. This is really happening, y'all. Hold on, let me see. Like, this is just insane. But what's also very strange about this too, in my opinion, is that they're not really showing a whole lot. Like if you look over here, I mean, this is old. Like this live feed is done. It already ended. But nonetheless, like they're, clearly this is Towson University, okay? And so of course, obviously, things are getting taped off. I mean, they're taking it very, very seriously, y'all. And I get it. Why wouldn't they? But again, these types of jokes, I haven't seen anything from CNN or Fox News covering this so far. I have not. And I've been looking around, Before I started, I was looking to see if there was any other live feeds about this, and there really wasn't anything at all. Really none at all. So, very strange. 1 second, guys. This is the reason why I'm wondering is this a reaction to something, right? Could this be a reaction to something else that just happened? Or is it just them just doing this for the sake of doing this, right? We got another one, Delaware State University. Okay, Delaware State University evacuated due to another threat. Then they updated this about 11 minutes ago. So Delaware State University was evacuated and all classes were canceled following a threat today. So the school located in Dover, Delaware, received the threat shortly before 11 a.m. on today. All academic buildings were evacuated and all classes were canceled for today. And that's what I think all the universities should do. All the universities should do the same thing. Hey, all is clear, but please go home. School's out for the day. We will reconvene tomorrow. I'm not sitting there going, come on back to school. Hell to the no. I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm good. I will see you tomorrow. And if that, I may see you tomorrow. I might take tomorrow off too, because I'm scared. And I don't blame anyone for being scared. Okay? But they're canceled for the day. All employees at the university were sent home, except for essential personnel. Delaware State University police were, as well as state and federal law enforcement, are investigating the threat. The threat occurred around the same time that the University of Delaware in Newark, Delaware, was evacuated due to police activity. Officials have not yet revealed if the two incidents are connected. So you got another situation at the University of Delaware in Newark, and then you have Delaware State University having the same issues, or, they're having police showing up to those specific campuses but they don't know if it's connected. But I'm going to tell you right now, I guarantee you it's connected. Delaware State University is a historically Black university. Another one. Earlier in September, 5 other historically Black colleges were placed on lockdown after receiving credible threats of violence, according to NBC News. The FBI later learned those threats were all hoaxes. Now we're looking at all this too, and we're seeing that all of these damn things be hoaxes. Like, this is insane. Okay? This is insane. Let me get some of these super chats here really quick. But again, this is a whole other one. Actually, no. Let me play a little bit of this.
Lily Zhang, NBC 10 News.
Can I play a little bit of this?
New this morning, the FBI searching for 3 suspects.
No, it's a completely different thing. Sorry. I thought it was a video talking about, you know what I mean? Talking about this situation, what's going on at Delaware State University. So you got Delaware State University that evacuated due to a threat as well. So it hasn't ended. And I'm wondering if whoever these monsters were or are, what if, I feel like they sent out a mass email. They sent emails in mass to multiple places at the same time. So all these schools basically reacted at the same damn time. You see what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. That's how it's signaling to me. But they are going after HBCUs, other universities as well. Why are they doing that? Are they trying to incentivize? Are they trying to start something that doesn't need to be started? You get what I'm saying? A split, a rift, if you will, in the country. There's already so much there's already so much dividedness. There's already so much division. That's what I'm trying to say. There's already so much division in the country. Are they just trying to just nudge it over a flight of stairs? You know what I mean? So it just tumbles down by itself. Is that what's going on here? I'm quite curious. Let me get these super chats here really quick, though. Let me get those. In fact, let me pull up that live video one more again, so you guys can see that, a little bit of that, as we discuss with these super chats. Okay, Janobi, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. It is right now at UHF. Yep, I just read about that. Fairbanks, where I'm at. Man, I hope whoever is in that area, or if you are in that area, hopefully you're safe. But this is some crazy stuff for sure. Okay. Let's continue on. PR. Thank you so much. What the heck is going on over here? What the heck is going on? Okay, sorry, guys. Camera work was insane. My beloved niece started at my alma mater this year, almost 40 years to the day that I did. I wanted to tell her these will be some of the best years of her life, yet I worry it's such a different world than it was 40 years ago. Yeah, we are definitely living in a different time. I mean, and you know what's really frustrating and annoying, and so thank you so much, PR, for sharing that with us. And I hope your your loved one stays safe. But what's very interesting about this is, yeah, I mean, as soon as you say something out loud, it feels like um you sound like an old head, but it's different now. You know what I mean? I don't like this kid here, so I'm gonna move this kid. He's throwing up signs and stuff. We good, but I feel like it makes you feel like an old head saying, like, it's not the same like it used to be. But at the same time, it's like, no, yeah, I kind of wish the kids would be able to have what a lot of us had growing up, because nowadays it's not the same. Kids are now having to worry about if they're going to lose their lives. Like I said, if they're going to go back home in a box. I think that's crazy. We can't even go matriculate. We can't even go learn. We can't even go get married. Okay? We can't even go and worship if we want to. We don't have those abilities anymore. They're gone. And now we have to worry about somebody busting through the front door or the side of a building and taking people's lives just because they have a problem with Mormons or because they have a problem with Catholics or something like that. Jewish people, Muslims, etc. That's insane. Okay? We should be able to go and worship who we want to worship safely. Daddy Crab, thank you so much for the love. Thank you, Mr. Pascal. Well, thank you, Daddy Crab. I appreciate you for supporting the channel. It really means a lot. Jasper, thank you so much for the love. We are about to enter the 7-year tribulation with the 7-year peace treaty. Get ready and be prepared. America, Mystery Babylon will fall. Interesting statement there. I'm going to need to look up what you're talking about. Hold on. Where's my pen? I need to look that up. I want to see what you're talking about. Okay. But interesting statement. Interesting statement. Yes. Hold on. I see something over here really quick. I got 2 more super chats. But hold on. Where did I see that? It just disappeared. What? Are you kidding me? McGuire Air Force Base is on lockdown after reports of an... Come on, man. Hey, Debbie Carroll, thank you so much for sending this to me. Can you email me the article real quick? If you could send that to me, that'd be great. Okay. I'm going to write that down really quick. I'm going to get through these super chats here really quick, of course. Air Force. Okay. I'm going to hold on to that. Keep this up here. Hopefully I don't forget it. We'll see. I wrote it down too. But Steve Baker, thank you so much. I live 15 minutes from base. I am also volunteer. The incident was due to training. Someone dialed 911, heard shots due to a training exercise. Yeah, and I from the other one, right? From the other military base. Yes, apparently there was a big misunderstanding, and someone got someone got very concerned. Someone heard pop shots and got scared. And I understand that. I feel like right now, everything, there's quite a sensitive nerve. Okay. So yes, I get it. Right. Little Shirley, thank you so much for the love. 2 high schools in Colorado had this same thing. Yeah. And that's news to me too about the high schools in Colorado. That's absolutely crazy, to be completely real. So, oh my gosh, hold on. McGuire, hold on. I got to type this in. So, McGuire, Air Force. Let's see. Oh my God, this is not a joke. No, well, this is the one. No, this. I think the one that you're talking about. Yes, the one you're talking about. Okay, the one that you're talking about. The lockdown was. Let me just pull this up. Okay, because that has been. The lockdown doesn't exist anymore. It's now over. Okay, the one in the military base. So it's the same military base. Okay, the McGuire Air Force Base. That military base is that lockdown has been lifted. All is clear with that one, just so you know. So there's no active assailant or anything of that sort, but I'll give you guys the updates right now, okay? So that you guys know, all right? Here it is. Let's take a look at what Newsweek has to say. Golly. So they were briefly under lockdown on Tuesday morning today. In a press release issued at approximately 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the base said it responded to reports of an active assailant just before 11 a.m., activating emergency protocols. Law enforcement and base officials determined around noon that no active assailant was substantiated. Our priority is the safety and security of everyone on the installation. This is what Colonel Stefan Novick said. He's a JBMDL commander. And this is what he said in this statement. Continuing, he said, we worked closely with local law enforcement and emergency responders to ensure the situation was investigated and resolved as quickly as possible. The base posted around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There is a lockdown at the JBMDL. All personnel are to lock down until further notice. All personnel outdoors should take cover. So, just before noon, they also posted limited release. The lockdown for the Lakehurst portion of JBMDL remains in effect. The McGuire and Fort Dix campus lockdowns have been lifted. We will provide an update with more details as they become available. So now we know that all of that has been lifted. And like we just heard from that super chat just a second ago, that it was a misunderstanding. There was training going on. Somebody heard some pop shots and they got scared. I guess they didn't understand what was going on. Okay. And of course, that whole thing has been lifted. So that Air Force Base situation is done. I thought you were talking about a whole other situation. I was like, damn, there's a whole other one? That's insane. But no, there is not another one. Okay. Just so you know. Okay. No other active situation. There's nobody actively doing anything right now that we know of. And I hope that it stays that way because we've had enough carnage. We've already, I would hope it just stops for good, but I know we can't. Okay. I know we can't, it's up to the people that are in this situation that are going to be willing to stop this from happening. Right now, here's the thing. Okay. There's a couple things that I do want to bring up to you guys that happened earlier today. Okay. And I don't know if this is a reaction. I don't know if this is a reaction to what Pete Hegseth and Trump said today, which pretty wild. I will say pretty wild. It kind of felt like, I'm going to be real. It kind of felt like, hold on.
Face it, son.
Dear Lord. Commercials, commercials, commercials. But it felt a little bit like they were saying, you know what I mean? Like they're trying to take it back to like the 1950s and 60s, like military is going to go back. They're going to go back a little bit, a few decades back. That's what it kind of felt like. Okay. And they said a lot. Trump said, well, one thing is for sure. Trump basically said that there is a war going on in America. He literally said that out loud. He did say that there is a war going on in America. He did say that in these blue cities that he does not like, and that he is most definitely going to deploy the military. Okay, not just the National Guard or not just ICE to places like Chicago and LA and all these other places that he feels some type of way about. He is definitely going to be deploying the military to these particular areas. This is what he said in his statement. Trump did. But we got to talk about Pete Hegseth, okay? Because he had quite a bit to say as well. And I think he said a lot, okay? This is just a clip of what he said, but, I want you guys to see it. Come on.
Definitions of so-called toxic leadership, bullying and hazing, to empower leaders to enforce standards without fear of retribution or second guessing. Of course, you can't do like nasty bullying and hazing. We're talking about words like bullying and hazing and toxic. They've been weaponized and bastardized inside our formations, undercutting commanders and NCOs. No more. Setting, achieving, and maintaining high standards is what you all do. And if that makes me toxic, then so be it. Second, today at our direction, we're ensuring that every service.
Now, here's the thing. Some people are very happy about this. Some people are very happy about what he had to say about all of this. So we're going to look at this breakdown here real quick. Okay. So Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth has summoned top military leaders from across the globe to give a speech today in which he raged about. This is what he said. I'm not trying to fat shame or anything. These are things that he said. Okay. It's not taken out of context or anything. He said, fat generals, men with beards, and dudes in dresses. He literally said those words verbatim. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Doesn't matter what you think about Pete Hegseth or if you agree with this or not. I just kind of feel that I just feel that this was just a very interesting approach to top brass. Okay. Now, there's certain things I get it. There's certain things I do get. Okay, that I do agree with. Okay, it's the military. Okay, I agree with certain things. All right, but there's other things I'm like, okay, that's okay. You know what I mean? And this is all being thrown out here for the general public. But there's some other things I don't agree with. I just don't. All right. We'll talk. We'll address that probably in a little bit here. But if we have time tonight, we might talk about this in more. We might expand on this conversation a little bit more. Okay. But here's the thing. They continue. So in an unprecedented address on Tuesday, today, to outline an overhaul of the military. So he also lamented people who complained about toxic leadership, telling the room, if it makes me toxic, then so be it. Declaring the words like bullying and hazing had been weaponized. Hegseth announced a full review of the department's definition of those words. Complaint mechanisms would also be reformed. He also said along with the military's equal opportunity policies. He says, "We are liberating you," said Mr. Hegseth, who controversially got his job despite a number of past SA allegations against him, that is true. The allegations are true. I mean, the allegations exist, right? And I know some people say, well, it's not true, but they do exist. All right. No more anonymous complaints, no more repeat complaints, no more smearing reputations, no more endless waiting, no more legal limbo, more sidetracking careers, no more walking on eggshells. The highly unusual gathering at the Marine Corps base in Quantico, near Washington, was called last week, fueling intense speculation about the significance of gathering such a large number of generals and admirals in one place, which is recipe for disaster. Remember, like putting all of these people in one spot, that is dangerous, y'all. Okay. Some are stationed in conflict zones, including Middle East, Europe, okay, and other places, all right? Speaking over the weekend, all right, Trump had branded the speech as a chance to tell the generals we love them. But over 45 minutes, a very animated Hegseth railed against what he called stupid rules of engagement in the military, citing Jesus, talked up his book, and repeated a litany of talking points. He did mention a shameless plug on his book. He really did. He said, oh, that came from someone's book. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. But he was promoting his own book. It's very interesting. But anyway, moving on. No more client change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions, he said. He also banded beardos. So men with beards are not allowed in the military anymore. So all of the people that were rocking beards or, whatever, they all got to get it clean shaved. Okay. Now all members of the military, except for like special ops, that kind of thing, those guys can still rock beards and all that. They now are basically working for the New York Yankees. Basically, got to have a clean shaven face if you're going to be batting for our team, which is Americans, the U.S. military. Dadgummit. No more beards, no more beardos, as he said. Okay, from the military, and demanded daily workouts and twice a year physical fitness tests. Now, here's the thing. I do agree with that. Oh, the Yankees ditched that rule? Oh, damn. I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. I thought they were all supposed to stay clean shaven, but that's news to me. Thank you so much for that that update. But here it is. That's the part I agree with. I agree with the daily workouts. I agree with the physical fitness test, that they have to have a PT test at least twice a year, and that they need to be in tip-top shape. Yes, you're the military. You gotta be, but here's the thing. Here's the other thing too, and I'm just gonna say it too. Can we do that for our police though too? I'm sorry, because some of our cops out here, damn, you've been sitting in that car for too long. I'm just being real. When you see culprit that's doing the 50-yard dash faster than you've ever seen before, and then, it's like, whew, and then 45 seconds later, you see a cop who clearly is out of shape trying to run after him on foot, and you're going, no, you ain't going to catch that man. He left you like 45, like he has a 45-minute. Yeah, I clocked him 45-second head start on your ass, and you already you already gassed out. Do you need a gel? Do you need a bagel? Do you want me to give you some pasta so you can refuel before you run after this dude? Because he just kicked rocks, though. And you still here. Damn. Like, it's bad, right? And you got to remember, a lot of these cops have to carry around all kinds of different gear, pounds and pounds of gear on top of their own body, running after dudes that are getting away with things, right? It'd be nice to have our cops be a little bit more in shape. I'm sorry. You see them and you're like, you're a cop? You're not on the beat, though, are you? Oh, you out there in the streets. Oh, okay. Cool. Good on you. You know what I mean? But a lot of these cops are not in shape either. Sorry. Not sorry. So that part I was like, yeah, you the military, you're supposed to be suited and booted. You're supposed to be ready, right? You're supposed to be like, rah, ready to go, right? I agree. I agree with that part. The beardos thing, let the people rock their beards. I don't see a problem with that. I get being like, we need to be the best representation of ourselves, right? Present ourselves with the best look and be, pristine and but you can still keep that nice and tight, that beard nice and tight. Okay? Just make sure it's nice and tight. That's it, right? But moving on. Okay? Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. He literally said that. Oh, he really said that. There's some other parts I don't agree with. Don't worry, we're gonna get into it. Okay, yeah. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat. This is what he's saying. This is verbatim what he said. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country, in the world. It's a bad look. It is bad. And it's not who we are. You realize that there's going to be an uptick in Ozempic. Wait for it. All of these military, all of these dudes are going to be like peptides. Watch. They're going to be leaning hard on that Ozempic. Okay? Hegseth also explained, his decision to fire more than a dozen military leaders, many of whom were highly qualified women and people of color, such as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Charles Q. Brown Jr., and the first woman to command the Navy, Admiral Lisa Franchetti. The rationale for me has been straightforward. It's nearly impossible for me to change a culture from the same people who helped create or even benefited from that culture, he said. Sheesh. He announced that basic training would be restored, quote unquote, to what it should be: scary, tough, and disciplined. I mean, it should be tough and disciplined. Scary, though? This is going to be a recipe for disaster, guys. Hold on, though. This is insane. This part is insane. Wait for what he says here. As such, drill sergeants would have the right to, quote unquote, put their hands on recruits as long as they weren't too reckless or broke the law. What the hell does that even mean? What the hell does that even mean? He says, train like your warriors' lives depend on it, because they do. So, of course, his military career peaked at the rank of a major in the Army National Guard, just so you know. So, his speech was met with a relatively muted response from the military brass. And then, of course, Trump took the stage after him and said, I've never walked into a room so silent before. Now, I'm sure this shocked a lot of people. Pete Hegseth going up there, talking about all this stuff, promoting his book at the same time, and then saying, y'all are fat, out of shape. Y'all need to get your ish together or you going to be out of a job. And guess what? You guys are going to be doing all these physical activities too. Y'all going to have to do PT tests all the time as well. Get ready for PT because it's coming for you. I don't want to see any flabby asses anymore. Ain't no way we're going to see some fat soldiers and fat generals out here. Everybody's going to be svelte. Everyone's going to be slim thick. Slim thick. That's literally what he said. Well, he didn't say slim thick, but you get what I'm saying. He said, hail to the nah. I ain't got time to see this formation. Everybody's barely fitting in their uniforms and stuff. Tighten up. And in fact, beat the crap out of your soldiers. It's life or death out there. He said, put your hands on your soldiers as long as it's legal and it's not crazy. What does that mean? Putting your hands on your soldiers is still putting your hands on your soldiers. You see what I'm saying? That's a massive, that's a huge thing. You know what I'm saying? You're putting your hands on the soldiers. It's putting hands on the soldiers. And that's illegal. You realize that, right? It's called assault. It's called a battery. It's called all that. Okay? Yeah. And I ain't talking about Duracell. The dogs concur. So again, this is a very interesting situation that's going on. And I was wanting to know what Pete Hegseth was really going to bring. You know, why was he bringing top brass from around the world to to Quantico? And now we heard it. And it's basically him saying, shape up. And some of y'all mother lovers need Jenny Craig. Okay. Have you heard of a salad? Some of y'all, have you heard of keto? Shoot, we can go all the way back. Have you heard of Atkins? Some of y'all need that right now. Y'all need to stop put down the bread. Okay. Pick up a protein shake. And I got a good hookup with somebody who's got that Ozempic. So call me when you need it. Okay. I got that hookup. But all y'all flabby asses need to be tight. I want to see nothing but tight asses. He really said that. I mean, he didn't say he didn't say it like that, but like I said, he said, some of y'all have been living off the fat of the land. Y'all better go and we gonna trim that fat off or you out of a job. And if you have a problem with it, there's the door. He literally said that too. Or, you know, not verbatim, but he just basically said, if you don't do as I say, and if you don't shape up, you're going to ship out. And we'll find somebody else. Oh, and the other thing too is, yeah, we good. We ain't doing no female. We ain't doing no female female soldiers. We good on that. Nah, not in places of power. They out too. And no more dudes in dresses. Like I don't like that's some crazy stuff he said. He said a lot of stuff and he said those things out loud. Okay? Real talk. He's like, y'all better start. Some of y'all fluffy mother lovers in this room. I see you. I see you, Colonel. All right? Yeah. It's time some of y'all start eating those salads and stop picking up those candy bars. Okay? How about that intermittent fasting? Some of y'all need to just fast. Period. Yeah, I see you, Admiral. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. You. Uh-huh. So again, this is crazy. This is crazy. Here's the thing. One of the things I do agree with him on is, yeah, you got to practice what you preach. If you're out here and you're leading and you are part of a military, like you're part of the military or you lead an army, you need to be on your ish too. You can't just be chilling. I totally agree with that. That part doesn't sound insane. I just don't like how it was delivered, right? But it was his way of basically saying, wake the F up. Wake the F up, get your ish together. I see some of y'all in here aren't even together. Some of y'all been complacent, because I see that complacent all around your waistbands. Yes, I see it. So say goodbye to complacency. So pick up some weights and drop the donut. It's time to get to work, right? Because these guys have to lead by example too. All of their soldiers that they lead, they're looking at him too, right? They're looking at the people that are leading them. And if they're all, not in shape, that's a big problem. That's a big problem. I don't think that they're going to bring the draft back. If they did, that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. But I get it. That part I get. I don't like how he took out women and people of color. I don't like that at all. I think if you're a damn good soldier, you're a damn good soldier. That's what should matter. But of course, he's like, we're getting rid of the DEI stuff. We're getting rid of, all that crap, right? He's saying all that because there's all that divisive crap that they put out. No more of this, no more of that. You won't have any of those things anymore, guys. And then, of course, he said, now you go put your hands on your soldiers now. No, we good. Because that stuff is illegal. That stuff is illegal. You don't think that if they actually do what they do what he said to do, that they're not going to have reports of that, lawsuits, etc.? Now, I understand the military is crazy. The military is crazy, and they hide things a lot like crazy. And some people have lost their lives because they wanted to speak out and expose how messed up and corrupt the military, the inner workings of the military can be. But you're just basically saying you can go back to being, you could basically do it in plain sight now, what they're doing behind closed doors. I'm not good with that. I'm not cool with that at all. And I get that they have to understand that this is life or death, and that, we're fighting and wars are coming, because there's some other things too we're going to talk about here in a second. When you hear all that kind of stuff, like I said, it's not good, inhumane, and a potential for absolute disaster. I was cool in the 90s. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you so much. And just like I was cool in the 90s, please consider becoming a member. Hit that join button down below, guys. Hit that join button down below. Travel with Caribbean. Thank you so much for the love. Can you do a recap? I'll do a recap in just a little bit, okay? Lil Shirley, thank you so much. Hexeth needs to stop taking Tylenol because it's done fried his brain. Yeah, man, ain't that the truth? Okay. He apparently, there was reports of him actually like having manic episodes before this whole thing, and this is all after Charlie Kirk lost his life. Apparently, he just has gone off the rails, and he's been extremely manic lately, Pete Hegseth. And then now he goes in and he does this speech, which was insane. Okay. Like I said, there are certain things I'm like, okay, I could see the shape up or ship out type of approach, but there's other things, like I said, putting your hands on your soldiers, so on and so forth. Hell to the no. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? This ain't Roman times, where they're all going out to meet their glorious death. Like this ain't 300. Okay, this ain't the movie 300. Okay, we all die glorious deaths. Like, no, like we don't live that in that world. Okay, these people have families and they all want to come back home alive when they get deployed. That's what a lot of them hope for. Okay. And if they're lucky, they do come back home alive. And if they're really lucky, they come back home without a scratch on their body. But for him to sit there and say all of this is insane. I'm sorry. Yeah, like gladiators. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is Sparta. Like this, it's not, but it's not though. It's not Sparta, bro. It's America. And we in 2025. Like, no, we in BC, not AD. Or we're in AD, not in BC. So what the hell are you talking about, baby? What? What? Sit down. No, sit down. You know, that's the vibe I'm getting. Man, that's crazy. So again, like I said, one major part that I agree with is, yeah, soldiers need to be in shape. They too need to be in shape, because what if they have to roll up their sleeves and get dirty? These generals, these admirals, they should be in shape. But I don't think that they should lose their job because, lose their position because they may not be as fast as they used to be. You see what I'm saying? I think that's reckless. Because what if you have some amazing military minds that may not be as in shape as they used to be? You still want that military mind. You see what I'm saying? You still want that leadership, but still, yes, I agree. They should still be in the best shape that they can actually get into. And I feel like a lot of these admirals or these generals or these top brass, I feel like it should go within age range. And I'm sure it'll have something to do with that, because it's not like they're going, we expect you to do a 4.6 in a 50-yard dash or something crazy like that. I hopefully it's nothing crazy, right? That is all tangible, and these generals, these top brass can get themselves together in due time, okay? Because we need them out there, right? They have those positions because they're good at what they do. But don't put your hands on the soldiers. They're already going to have to deal with that when they get deployed. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, parkour, CrossFit training. Yeah, no kidding, right? No kidding. This is some wild stuff, okay? Now, Trump did speak as well, and he did say, and I'm not going to dive into that too much right now, but he did talk about how there is a war going on within the country, and it has to do with these other cities, these cities that he's about to deploy the military to, and he wants to get those things in order, because he thinks that the threat is going on from inside the country, which is a very heavy statement to say out to the top brass. Just saying. Just saying. So again, actually, you know what? Let me just pull that up. Let's see. Like war from within America or something like that. I mean, let me just see. Let's see. Oh, this is from, wait. This is from France.
In the United States, that
Hold on. Yeah, he hold on. How long did he talk for? Trump talked for because he has these, you know how he is. He goes up and he talks for ever. Sorry, but he does. I know some of y'all be like, that's my president. I get it. But it's true. He has a tendency to riff. Is the right word? Is that the right word? He has a tendency to riff. But he said in here, it's a 7-minute clip. Okay, so we're going to try to get through this as quickly as we can. But he did talk about how he wants to put military in these specific cities, not in all cities, but in specific cities, because he wants to use this as training, military training. I'll just let him ramble about that. Let's take a listen.
And now Washington, D.C., after 12 days of serious intensity, we took out 1,700 career criminals. If you have 5 career criminals, they can make your numbers look very bad.
I want to point something out really, really quick before we look at this, okay? And lo siento for those who are not interested in hearing this, but this is important because this is going on in our country, and this is what is going to potentially happen in our country. He's basically saying what he's planning on doing, and all of these top brass are back in America right now. So what is he doing right now? What is the big plan? What's going on, right? So again, one thing is for sure. When he says DC is safer than it's ever been, sure, I'm sure it is now. I'm sure it is. But it wasn't dangerous in the first place. Even Kash Patel said during that press conference where he's like, we're going to deploy the National Guard in Washington, D.C. because it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous, everybody. You just understand, right? He said it's been the crime has been higher than it's ever been before, right? That's what he said. Worse than Beirut or something like that. I forgot what it was. He was like another high crime city, right? Something like that. High crime state, country, whatever. But anyway, Kash Patel went to the podium after him and said that the country is not that the rates of crime have dropped, have been lower than they've been. So we hear him say it's highest than it's ever been, and then we have Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, saying it's lowest than it's ever been. But thank you so much, President Trump, for taking care and wanting to find ways to keep this this city safe, right? And making this city safer. He said that. So basically, they cleaned up a little bit, and he's like, look at what we did. Right? Look at what we did. Amazing things. And it's like, wait, but you didn't really do much. It's like the kitchen was clean, and all you did was sweep that one corner. Because there was a little bit of dirt on the ground in the corner of that kitchen, and you swept it up. Bent over, put it in a dustpan and threw it in the trash. And then you're like, look how clean, look how wonderfully clean it is now. You see what I did? I cleaned this kitchen. And it's like, but it was already, sir, but it was already clean. There was just that little corner of soot over there, and you just swept that up. But I did do that, didn't I? Kitchen is clean now. Now, what do we do about the rest of the house? You know what I mean? Ended 7 wars. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's this, I'm telling you, country's the hottest it's ever been. He keeps saying that all the time. These are his things that he says all the time. And people eat it up. Okay. But again, like I said, this is very interesting what he's planning on doing with the military.
Because they'll commit many crimes a day. But we took out 1,700, and they took them out. There was no doubt who the boss was. They did an unbelievable job. Then they started even cleaning. I said, I don't want them doing that, sir. They were cleaning it up. I drove through it 2 days ago. It was beautiful. People are walking down the street holding hands, man and wife.
People are already walking down the street of DC holding hands before. Just so you know, I'm sorry for the pushback. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I love all y'all. I don't care what side of the podium, side of the aisle you're on. I love every single last one of y'all. But all I'm saying is people were still holding hands back then in DC before National Guard was deployed and before DC was militarized. I'm just saying, okay? But I'm going to stop interrupting, because if I keep interrupting, because he rambles, and we will be here for 7 years. So I'm just going to let it roll. Okay. In fact, I'm going to pick up the speed a little bit. I know I don't mean to pick up the speed a little bit, but I'm going to just a tiny bit so we can get to the meat and potatoes.
Coming from Iowa, they're not worried about being shot. Washington, D.C. is now a safe city. In fact, I went out to dinner with my crew. I haven't done that. In theory, I wouldn't do it. And I felt totally safe. And nobody's been attacked. Nobody's been hurt. Washington, D.C. went from our most unsafe city to just about our safest city in a period of a month. We had it under control in 12 days, but give us another 15, 16 days. It's perfect. And people other than politicians that look bad, they think, the Democrats run most of the cities that are in bad shape. We have many cities in great shape too, by the way. I want you to know that. But it seems that the ones that are run by the radical left Democrats, what they've done to San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places. And we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war too. It's a war from within. Controlling the physical territory of our border is essential to national security. We can't let these people in.
Hold on.
And we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war too. It's a war from within. Controlling the physical territory of our border is essential to national security. We can't let these people in.
Talking about borders. Okay. He's talking about borders. But he also says the war is going on from within.
We had no people enter in the last 4 months. Zero. Even I can't believe that. We had millions coming in, pouring in. 25 million all told. And of those 25 million, many of them should never be in our country. They would take their worst people and their people from prisons and jail, and they'd put them in a caravan and they'd walk up. CNN was interviewing one person. Oh, why are you coming? I want freedom. Good. Were you in jail? Yes. For what? Murder. He said, you had to see this anchor, a young woman. She's like, I couldn't believe it. She'll probably lose her job. But because the left doesn't want to hear that. But we're running it based on common sense and based on love of our country. But I want to salute every service member who has helped us carry out this critical mission. It's really a very important mission. And I told Pete, we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military. Because we're going into Chicago very soon. That's a big city with an incompetent governor, stupid governor, stupid. They threw him out of his family business. He was so stupid. I know the family. He becomes governor. He's got money. Not money that he made, but he ran for governor, he won, and now he criticizes us all the time. And last week they had 11 people murdered, 44 people shot. The week before that they had 5 people murdered, 28 people shot. Every weekend they lose 5, 6. If they lose 5, they're considering it a great week. They shouldn't lose any. You shouldn't lose any. This is civilization. And he's always up there saying, we're in very good shape. We don't need the military. No, they need the military desperately. How about Portland, Oregon, where it looks like a war zone? And I get a call from the liberal governor. Sir, please don't come in. We don't need you. I said, well, unless they're playing false tapes, this looked like World War II. Your place is burning down. I mean, you must be kidding. Sir, we have it under control. I said, you don't have it under control, Governor, but I'll check it. And I'll call you back. I called her back. I said, this place is a nightmare. It's certainly not the biggest, but it's one of the worst. It's brutal. They go after our ICE people who are great patriots and tough job too, but they love it. They love it because they're cleaning up our country. And so you look at some of the things where they took over parts of Seattle. They actually took over a big percentage of Seattle. Think of that. You remember that. That was.
Yeah. Do you guys remember what happened in Seattle and the stuff that was happening in Portland a few years ago? I mean, before he left office, remember all that stuff that was going down? Like, I feel like he is thinking about all those things that he didn't get a chance to fully focus on in his first term. And now he's like, okay, those places are still trashed. They're still bad. I want to, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to make right for what I didn't get a chance to make right on in my first term. That's the vibe I'm getting. You got to remember, FBI agents are getting fired now because if they had anything to do with kneeling for George Floyd, I want to make that, like, literally, I want to make that abundantly clear. If you don't know about that, that is an actual fact. FBI agents that ever were depicted or seen kneeling for George Floyd have now been fired. Remember, George Floyd was in his term, during his term, his first term. So now I feel that now he's looking at, I'm just looking at the math, guys. We're looking at the pattern. He's looking at, and of course, he's hella fixated on Gavin Newsom, okay, in LA, because now they're just button heads, right? And that's a new addition. But now he's looking at the other cities that were falling apart or protesting or making any type of pushback at his leadership in the first term. So now he's looking at Portland, he's looking at Seattle, he's looking at Chicago, he's looking at any of these other cities that have ever, reacted to his leadership in the first term in any kind of way. So now he's retaliating again against them too. You see what I'm saying? It's like he wrote a list when he left office, and he had 4 years to sit down and fester and think about these things. That's what I truly think. I think he had sitting there thinking about things, and he's like, I hate the fact that these things happened while I was in office. I'm going to make right on those things as quickly as possible when I get back in office. But he sat there and he let it sit, and he has that list, and now he's going off that list right now. So you got Portland, you got Seattle. Remember all the craziness that happened in Portland and Seattle? Stuff was crazy back then, right? Stuff was absolutely crazy. I don't condone it, nor do I condemn it. I'm just telling the facts. It was absolutely crazy. So now he's like, okay, Portland is a mess. Seattle's a mess. We got to make things right. Remember Kyle Rittenhouse? Wasn't that in Portland? Well, I think that was in Portland, right? Man, it's been so long since I've said his name. But Kyle Rittenhouse, wasn't that in Portland? I think it was. But I'll have to go back again and Google it really quick. But anyway, all that stuff. He wrote a list. And now it was in Wisconsin. Thank you so much. I'm sorry about that. Okay. But you see what I'm saying, right? He's seeing it. Wisconsin. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. My bad. I could have sworn it was in Portland. But anyway, it's been years, guys, since I've even said that dude's name. Okay. But here it is. Okay. Moving on from that. Thank you so much for that correction. But here's the thing. He wrote a list. He sat down. He had 4 years to think about it. Probably talking to Melania, saying his piece, probably obsessing over it, talking about it over and over and over again. Because you know how he is. He gets fixated on one thing and he sticks to it forever, right? And he won't let go on. He's like a dog. He latches on like a rabid dog. He latches on and he will not let go. And right now, his sights are on all of these cities that he feels that have betrayed him in any kind of way. Any of them that were blue, any of them that have a glimmer of Democrat vibes, he wants to destroy. Why? Because he not only feels like they did him dirty while he was in office, he also, I think, feels dirty, or feels like they did him dirty because of the voting time against Biden. Yeah. That's what I think. And now he is he's trying to exact his revenge in his way. If you notice now, when he was in office before, it wasn't these crazy leftists and these damn Democrats, these damn Demis, right? He didn't do that. He wasn't doing that. Yes, he would be like, Biden, Obama, all these people, they're trash, blah, 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 right? But, or Hillary at the time, it was all that, right? But now they stole that from me and I'm going to get it back. And all of them are dirty. You see what I'm saying? And any person that's blue is now my enemy. At least that's what I'm seeing, right? That's what I'm seeing. That's the vibe I'm getting now. So now he's going, all of these other cities, we're going to use them as training grounds because there's a war going on from within. The war is going on and it's inside our country. And it has to do between red and blue. This is look, this is crazy. Let's continue, though. Like I said, I'm just saying what is going on. All right? You can, whether you agree with what Trump is doing or not, I'm just stating facts here. Okay? Clearly, he has a list, and he's knocking that list off one by one by one by one by one. And all of it has to do with him trying to make sure that everything is red and there's nothing blue left. That's literally what he's trying. That's at least the vibe I'm seeing right now. He is trying to get rid of anything blue so that everything is just flowing red.
A while ago, and I sent in the troops, and they were gone. As soon as I sent them in, when we send in the troops, if you have a real leader that says you got to do what you have to do, I put that out the other day. You got to do what you got to do, because we don't want our people hurt as they stand by. I was watching during Biden, there were troops standing up like this, brave, standing up, attention, the way I should stand all the time, and I'm like this, and people are standing, and their mouth is this far away from their mouth, and they're spitting at him, and they're screaming at him. And that soldier standing there, he wants to knock the hell out of the person, but he's not allowed to do anything.
I want to remind you, do you remember when he said at the press conference, there was one other press conference that he came up and he said, the soldiers now will be able to do what they need to do. Like, you better not come up and like, you better not spit in the soldier's face. You better not do this, X, Y, and Z, because now they're going to be able to do whatever the hell they want. And again, if he said that at another press conference, he's talking about it right here too. He's referring to that right now as we speak. But hold on, let me get this. Hold on, let me see this really quick. Hollis, thank you so much for the comment. Come on, man. You know this is between violent criminals versus common sense, man. Well, I think it's both. I think that there are people out there that are going and of course it is about being a law-abiding citizen. Obviously, it's about being, being following the law, right? But you also got to remember there are people out there that are just protesting, and that's their right too. That's still being a law-abiding citizen as well. Yes, there are bad actors out there, 110%, and they should be brought in and be charged and, see the fullest extent of the law, right? Justice should be served in that regard. But when it comes to other things, when it comes to people who are just out there protesting because they have that right to protest, they have that right to have their voice heard, they should be respected. They shouldn't have to worry about their livelihood being destroyed or be hurt because some military soldier feels some type of way and they have whatever, they have every right, now they'll have the right to do what they want to people for speaking or, of course, protesting in their faces. Like I said, I don't think it's as black and white as everybody is trying to break it down as. I don't think that bringing military to all of these cities is the answer. I really don't. Sorry. It's just not. I don't think that's common sense. I think that is throwing kerosene on an already lit bonfire. That's what I truly think. That's not common sense. That's making things worse. Okay? I think that's making things worse. But that's just me. Because again, right now, what are we seeing in other places right now? What are we seeing in other cities right now? They have deployed ICE, if I'm correct, into Chicago. We're just talking about ICE, baby. They're in Chicago right now. How is that response? How was that response? What happened? Right? What happened? That was yesterday, if I'm correct. Last night or yesterday, the reaction was not good. A lot of angry people were out there. A lot of people got arrested. A lot of people had yesterday was bad as far as that goes. Now imagine if it was like the military. Pretty crazy stuff. Like I said, I don't have the answer for all of this. Neither do you. Nobody has the answer to all this. All I know is what my gut says. And my gut says that this can only get worse if you're bringing in that. I feel like maybe there's another way to solve these issues, but we aren't even trying that. Or maybe that hasn't been approached yet. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have the answers. I just have what my gut is saying, right? And my gut is saying this approach is not good. Especially when you have your president saying the war is from within the country. Those are some those are some hot words to say to an already volatile country that is literally percolating right now. Okay. The pot is boiling and the lid is on top of that pot and the pot is just rumbling like this. That's what it feels like right now in this country. Right now, this is not the time. Like I said, this is more time for unity, not division. But we'll see what happens here. But I don't think that this is going to end well. But let's continue.
So they just stand there and they get abused. And a woman was this far away from his face, and she starts spitting in his face, and he's not allowed to do anything. If it's okay with you, generals and admirals, I've taken that off. I say, they spit, we hit. Is that okay? I think so. They spit, it's a new thing. They spit, we hit. How about the cars where the cars are coming out? They get brand new cars, Border Patrol, ICE, beautiful, nice new cars. And they're driving along and they have to go through a gauntlet of rocks being thrown at the car. So here's this beautiful brand new car. By the time it goes 100 yards, it's destroyed. These guys have pretty good arms, some of them. And they're throwing bricks at full force into the window and into the car. It looks like it's a war zone. And I said, never let that happen again. From now on, if that ever happens, and I say it here, you get out of that car and you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Because those people are you can die from that. Those bricks.
Heard that, right? Like I said, what he's saying right now is not great. I'm just saying. You can do what you want. He just said that. He just said you could do what you want. If if they're throwing rocks at you, blah, 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 you can get out and you can do what you want. What the hell does that mean? You see what I'm saying? This is a recipe for disaster because you're saying this stuff out. And by the way, this was live streamed for the whole world to watch and see. So you don't think that the people that are listening to this, the wrong kind of people that are listening to this, or any person that's listening to this is going to hear this and take it as an aggressive remark? What the hell does that mean? Like I said, and then I get the FAFO. I guess that's basically what Hegseth said too. He's like, from now on, it's going to be, the people that are the people that are going against us are going to be FAFO. And some people are like, woo, you know what I mean? Some claps were happening. And I agree. Outside sources, outside entities, the evildoers outside of this country that are foreign, okay, that are trying to come in and do bad things to us. Yes, FAFO. Okay, we should be ready to rock and roll at any time, right? Don't mess with this country. But when you have President Trump saying, hey, this is what's happening in the country, inside. And you could do what you want. I think that's dangerous. That's dangerous rhetoric. Okay, I'm just playing it again.
Never let that happen again. From now on, if that ever happens, and I say it here, you get out of that car and you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Because those people are you can die from that. Those bricks go through the windows. You can die. They'd like it to. They'd like it to go through the window.
See, here's the thing. Do what you want to do. That sounds crazy because somebody's listening to this, a soldier or anything, could take that and run with it. They just come out and go, brah! Literally. They could be interpreting it like that. How dare you throw a rock at a rock at my car, at this car. Border Patrol car. Braca, braca. What? Somebody's going to misinterpret that and take it to extremes. Here's the other thing, too. Don't get me wrong. Throwing rocks at a car, wrong. You definitely should be detained for that. You should be arrested. Then do that. Go and arrest, right? Go and arrest, detain, etc. Going out of the car and doing whatever the hell you want means so many different things. There's a litany of different things, y'all, and that could get really, really bad. Sorry, okay? Real talk. That's bad. That's bad.
But this was a couple of months ago. They just kept driving and bricks are hitting the car. And I said, why aren't they stopping? Because they were under orders from the past administration, never stop. But that's different with us. We stop. And since I gave that order, we haven't had that problem. It's very interesting. It's amazing.
Okay. So again, we heard Trump say what he said. Okay. I think that it could be a recipe for disaster. I could see this being something that could be something that's dangerous, but at the same time, I get it. There's other people that feel like what he's saying is absolutely right, and the military or God, whoever knows who else is involved, should be, that we should be embracing this. I will say, I think it's what he's saying. I think that, yeah, there should be zero tolerance on them trying to attack military vehicles or government vehicles, cops, etc. We shouldn't be going through that, period. Okay? Everything should be done in a peaceful manner. But if you are going to be throwing rocks, yes, get arrested. Absolutely. But do whatever you want. Like I said, I just see that as a recipe for disaster. That's just my opinion. PR, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. My husband is a first Gulf War vet. Thank you so much tell your husband, thank you so much for his service. So Marine Corps, that's what's up. 84 to 92, that's what's up. When he graduated from boot camp, his EGA was pinned on by putting on his uniform without the back and hitting it so hard it went into his flesh and stuck there. Yeah, I mean, I've heard about that at other places like West Point. I think they do that. There's a lot of places that do that, but they will do it shirtless. They just go up and slap it right there on your chest. I've heard that. Okay, so pretty scary stuff. Yeah, some say that's a rite of passage. That to me just sounds terrible. But then again, at the same time, there's fraternities that do branding. Real talk, you'll get branded. So again, these types of barbaric acts still do exist. Real talk. But am I condoning that? Hell no. That sounds painful. That sounds painful, y'all. Okay? Like I said, this is not Sparta. You know what I mean? But that's just me. PR, thank you again. Pascal, 2 words, Kent State. We need to learn from history and not repeat our worst mistakes. Yes, Kent State. Good point there, PR. Thank you so much. Again, PR. Thank you so much. Do I need to point out the irony of pardoning hundreds of people who attacked law enforcement officers and destroyed public property? Yeah. I mean, you just did point it out. Okay. He who talks out both sides of his mouth. Yeah. Like I said, you have people that ran and on J6. Okay. The J6 thing was bad, was really, really bad. And yes, they did all kinds of bad things over there, right? They did all kinds of bad things in that moment. Those people got pardoned. But you got FBI agents that were kneeling for George Floyd losing their jobs. You have people potentially getting attacked by military or whatever because they're just in their face being like this, protesting, spitting. Don't do that. Okay, don't put your hands on police or any military or anything like that. You're going to get arrested, period. Okay, You're going to have a very bad day if you do that, right? But if you're protesting, you should be able to have that right to protest peacefully. Yes, there are bad actors. There are very, very bad people that are out here doing very, very bad things for the sake of doing very, very bad things. And I do not like those people. In fact, I hate those people. Okay, just like anybody else. It's like, why did you do that? Why did it have to escalate that way? It doesn't have to, right? It doesn't have to escalate that in that way, in that fashion. You should be able to peacefully protest and say what you need to say and be heard. Stop vandalizing. Stop burning places down. Stop graffitiing places that you go and eat or go and spend money at, right? And support just because you're angry. We need to be better out here. Okay, we need to find a way to express ourselves in a peaceful manner. And I get some people think that bringing in upheaval and chaos is one way to get your voice heard, but it doesn't work that way. Not the way that we live, not the world that we live in now. Everything's spun. Everything is spun to some sort of political rhetoric. Do we not already understand that by now? Do we not already understand that by now? Mainstream media. Let's talk about damn dag nabbit. Okay. Dadgummit. Let's talk about mainstream media just for a second, okay? All right. But they will take that information and they will put it out there, and it will be spun in a way to make one specific side look like the bad guy or the other side look like they're freaking Goldilocks. This is getting ridiculous. Let's just talk about what happened with this church, okay? And may God bless every single last one of those victims' families and all those victims. May they all rest in peace. But let's talk about this. They are all trying to spin some sort of narrative every single time. That guy was rocking shirts, was a supporter of Trump. That is true. And I know everybody and their mama trying to spin it and change the story, change the information to make it seem like he was some crazy leftist. But that dude, Thomas, I forgot his last name. Jake, okay? Thomas Jacob Sanford, all right? That mother lover that did that terrible thing to that Mormon church, Trump supporter. He was rocking Trump shirts and all that. Well, guess what happened? People were running around and saying, oh yeah, that photo was AI. You could easily go up there and change things and it'll change the photo on Facebook. On his wife's Facebook page or whatever the hell it is. No, he was just wearing a regular camo shirt. That's all he was wearing. No, he was wearing a very right-wing shirt, camo shirt. No one used AI. That was the original content. But what happened? Because the right can't stand the thought of a right-winged guy being a monster, they ran. Okay, they ran. And something we can finally agree upon, Hollis. Hey, see, there's always a way to find a way to agree on something. Yeah. Okay. He was a Trump supporter. And then, of course, he was found with, I didn't know about the child stuff. Okay. But he definitely was deranged mentally. Okay. But people were out here fighting tooth and nail, being like, no, he was a crazy leftist. He was one of them damn dimmies. Them damn dimmies. Why? Because Trump put something out. I'm sorry, but he put something out on his Truth Social, basically saying there is a war against us Christians. We read it live. Because I said, my concern is that they're going to spin this in a way, either side is going to spin this in a way to make it look as such, to divide the country. Because they didn't have everything yet, Trump still went up to his Truth Social and he still said, this is an attack on all Christians. Huh? Excuse me? So he was already spinning it. Before we even knew what this guy's name was, we didn't know his race. We didn't know what he stood for, we didn't even know what he looked like. And we were already putting out that spin, or the spin was already happening. So again, we live in a world where everything is so divided and so divisive, and it's very frustrating because as soon as something bad happens, it's got to be spun in a way. It can't just be what it is. Like this guy, Sanford, he did what he did. I don't think it was politically motivated at all. I think he had a problem with Mormons. He had a connection to that church for some reason. And he grew some sort of obsession, some sort of hate for that church. And then he did what he did. I don't think he went up there and said, Trump for life, and then did what he did. No, he didn't scream out like free Palestine or anything crazy like that. He ran his car into the church and then started carnage. And I feel like it has nothing to do with anything political. He just got in his feelings and he went into a very dark place mentally, and he did what he did. So again, that guy was right-winged. But do you see them talking? Hold on. Do you see them talking about it? Do you see them talking about it? No. Because for a fact, this is the first time that we're seeing, I think this is the first time since Netanyahu, but this is the first time that we're seeing him, Trump, since that tragedy, really. And for a fact, if that was some left-wing nut job, he would have been saying that left-wing nut job that did what he did at that church. We got to be protecting our children and our Christians. He would be saying that right now, but he's not. Why? Because he was right-wing Trump supporter that lost his marbles. That's it. That's it. But they got nothing to use to try to spin it. But they do, though. They do, though. And let me show you what I mean, though. Okay, let me show you exactly what I mean. Caroline. Okay. Hold on. Can't type suddenly. God, I can't spell either. Come on. I just want you to hear this. Yes, I think this is it. Is this it? I think this is it. I hope this is it. This is Caroline. We all know Caroline Levitt, okay? Part of the spin, part of the conversation. Just hear what she got to say. Okay? Just hear what Caroline, hear what she got to say about this situation. Let's go.
Well, first of all, I want to express our sincere condolences to the victims and their families and all of the members of this church who were gathering on a Sunday in the United States of America to worship Jesus Christ. And a crazed gunman rammed his truck into the church and started firing at these innocent Americans. And our hearts break. The president was very quick to put out a statement completely condemning this and assuring the American people that the FBI is on the scene. And I spoke with our FBI director, Kash Patel, bright and early this morning. He assured me and the American public that the FBI is currently executing multiple search warrants at the residences and the family homes of this perpetrator to try to get to the bottom of why he would commit such an act of evil. And the FBI is working with both state and local law enforcement, providing the full support of the federal government. And I just want to commend state and local law enforcement for their swift and incredible response. Local police officers were on the ground of this scene within minutes and neutralized this shooter, no doubt saving lives. And they should be commended. Our police officers are heroes, and this president will always respect them and support them.
They definitely were. They were there in 32 seconds.
Okay. Now, notice what she just said. Nothing about divisiveness, because they had nothing to give. Except, she continues. She says more. Okay? She says more about this being, like this individual who hated the Mormon faith, basically saying that this is an attack on Christians, right? Hold on. Take a look.
From what I understand, based on my conversations with the FBI director, all they know right now is this was an individual who hated people of the Mormon faith. And they are trying to understand more about this, how premeditated it was, how much planning went into it, whether he left a note. All of those questions have yet to be answered, but certainly will be answered by the FBI. From what I
Now, what's interesting about what she is saying here, and because there's more that she says, I'm going to have to pull up the whole doggone thing, because obviously I'm just pulling up clips off of X right now. But she definitely is saying, hey, this was an attack on Christians, right? Hold on. It's the same interview. But of course, for her to say that, okay, he hated the Mormon faith. I mean, I feel like that's a safe bet. I feel like that is something that we can all pretty much agree upon, that he had some sort of disdain for the Mormon faith, right? But at the same time, this is what they're using. That this is an attack on Christian faith, okay, on Christians and all that. So still made in a way, tailored in a way to I guess, what's the word? It's almost fear-mongering. You know, if you are right-wing, Christian, God-loving, God-fearing, right? They're still going to try to spin it in a way to make it seem like it's something really bad, that there's a whole attack on us, Republican Christian individuals. And it's this whole new narrative only started when Charlie Kirk lost his life. Literally, as soon as Charlie Kirk lost his life, this is where this narrative was created. But I'm going to tell you, Trump put out that statement, said what he said, right? About, it's an attack on Christians. She repeated the same thing, okay? Caroline Levitt. And of course, I'm trying to pull this up out of, I'm pulling this up out of nowhere, right? But I heard her say those things, those words herself on that very show, on that very, I guess it's Fox and Friends show or whatever. Yeah, that's Fox and Friends for show. So again, hold on. Let me see if I can find it on Caroline Levitt. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Let's find it.
Well, this morning, House was
Here we go. Now, this is the whole thing. So we're going to listen to it. Okay. We are going to go through it. But again, they still were going with that spin. Even though he was right wing, they were saying, hey, we're going to run with this and we're going to make it seem like it's, such and such. It's going to be this way. And that's what we're going to do, because it's going to still scare them to lean in on the right and lean in more on the faith and be more, embolden them even more to be proud to be Christian Republican individuals. That's just the vibe I'm getting, right? Because the narrative has to stay that there's an attack on Republicans, that there's an attack on conservative Christians. That's what the narrative is. And that these left-wing psychopaths are the ones that are doing all this bad stuff. It's them against the world, it seems like, right? That's the narrative that they're spinning. And they're continuing to spin that. And I know that what I'm saying, some of y'all don't agree with me when I'm saying with what I'm saying, but I truly think that Trump wants the entire country to be red. That's exactly what he's trying to do. That's why there's been all kinds of different things that have been going on within the government. There's been a lot of crazy movements that have been going on within the government. Okay, the districting. I don't even know. I can't even say the word, but you know what I'm saying. Districting thing that's been going on in multiple states. I mean, this is getting bad. Okay, it's getting bad. They are literally trying to turn everything red. That's literally what they're doing. And if you don't see it, just take a step back before you go and just take off the red colored glasses. See what I did there? And just take a look. Just take a look for a second. Okay, just take a good look and see what's really going on. You don't have to not agree with it. If you agree with it, then so be it. That's what you agree with. Okay, that's you, boo boo. Live your life. But I just want you guys to see what's actually going on. And it's really going on this way. He's really trying to turn this whole entire country red. Like I said, I think he has some sort of anger, pent up revenge that he's trying to take out on the left. Real talk. Because of things that have happened in his first term. So now he's going after everybody. Okay? Just like what he's doing with Comey and the things that he's trying to go after Adam Schiff and Letitia James. He is literally I have a list and I don't forget anybody. You crossed me, I'm not forgetting you, bro. Oh, I'm going to see you again. And now he's like, oh, I'm back. Remember what I said 4 years ago? Yeah, baby, I'm back. And now it's time to pay the piper. Mm-hmm. Whether you like it or not, you're going down, buddy. See, I read a couple of his books in the past, and one of the things that he really loved to talk about is revenge. And he truly believes if you get screwed, come back and screw them harder. That's literally a word, literally a phrase that he says in one of his books. Okay. I forgot the title of the book. That drives me nuts. I'm going to have to figure it out. And I think is that Art of the Deal? I think he says it again in another book. But it's like this audio tape that I got. And this is before he was ever president or anything like that. Never showed any interest in becoming a political of any kind. He was just the brand Trump, right? So I'm listening to these CDs because they were CDs at the time. And one of the chapters in his book, in this audio book, was if you get screwed, come back and screw them harder. And then he goes into this whole story about this one time this guy screwed him over about some property that he was trying to get, blah, blah, blah. And this guy came back and just basically just blew him out of the water. Okay. So again, for a fact, he doesn't forget people who screw him over. That is him. He has written it in books. He has talked about it live. He does not forget people who screw him over. So now when you look at the situation now, and I'm not sitting here saying that I know the full, I'm not going to break down the psychology of President Trump here. Okay. But at the same time, if you've noticed, he doesn't forget a person that's messed him over. And now he's going back and going after everybody. And he also is known, if he needs to play dirty, he'll get dirty. By any means necessary, he will take that person down. And that's exactly what he's doing right now with all the people that have screwed him over. And now he has his sights set on Democrats. Any person that's left-leaning. He doesn't want to see not one speck of blue. I'm telling you right now. He doesn't. He wants to see red. And that's it. That is for sure a fact. And that's why when you have someone of the likes of Charlie Kirk losing his life, they took this, they packaged the memorial into a damn WWE freaking rally. And he got the last word. Come on now. Yeah, he said, come after me, I'll come after you. Yeah, he basically said that. He's like, it may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. But at some point in about 4 years, I'm coming for that ass. And now he is, right? Come on now. Come on now. Listen, we ain't dumb. We ain't dumb. That was a full on, that memorial. We already know. Okay? We know. Come on, it had pyrotechnics. You know? It was just odd. Okay. Let's listen to this. And again, please guys do me a favor. If you can, do me a solid, hit that like button down below. Crush it, please. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button, please, and thank you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. Okay, guys. We talk about a lot of things on this platform. Everything from true crime to politics to pop culture and everything in between. You know, I got opinions too. You know, I got thoughts about what's going on in the world. You know, I try my best to, you know, try to dance in the middle. You know, sometimes I'm over on the right, sometimes I'm over on the left. It just is what it is. It just depends on the situation. You know what I mean? But in this particular situation, yeah, that you know, that event was definitely a converting event. Most definitely. And I'm not saying just converting to Christianity. I'm saying even converting to conservativism or whatever it is. Okay. You know, over to the Republican side, crossing over. You want to know why? Oh, good God. I'm going to say it. 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 Now, I know a lot of people have been looking at this moment as a very big, powerful moment, but it was the biggest moment of the entire memorial service or rally. It's when she forgave Tyler Robinson. Now, I know some people are looking at it and they are like, that was so powerful. And they felt that in their hearts. Some others looked at it and go, that was one big fake act. But I want to tell you something. It really affected a lot of people. So if it was an act, it worked. Because there were people that said, I found Jesus after she said, I forgive him. That they felt something in their soul to open up the Bible again. But now the question is, was that the plan in the first place? Something to think about. Because I got to be honest, I don't know if I truly believe that she fully forgave Tyler. But then again, people are very deep within their faith. And that's possible. But I do feel like part of it was for the people that were listening. That's just me. You know? That's just me. Some people might be asking that, and some people are also talking about that. They're like, I don't know if I believe it. Okay? Some people are literally saying that. And it's pretty crazy. It is crazy. But you look at the event in its entirety. Just how it was packaged. I will say this though too. Her speech was not divisive at all. At all. Not once was it divisive, which I really appreciated. It was not a thing where she's like, these damn left wing people. Mm-mm. I appreciated that. Right? I think she came to that speech with a lot of grace. And I think she also was trying to keep the country together to a certain extent. But yeah, the moment where she just said, yeah. That big moment, that jaw-dropping moment was shocking. Was shocking. And some people are questioning it. Then there's people who are questioning why she's back, why she's on his show so quickly. You know, I'm going to say this real quick before we go into this. I think that when it comes to that, her being on his show, one, he clearly was making really good money on that show. They got to keep the meter running. The only thing I say is, why didn't she bring somebody else to host the show for a little while before she actually took over the show? You see what I'm saying? But now she's taking over the show, and it was that quick. And I know a lot of people were looking at it going like, why is she all smiling and stuff? I mean, maybe she really is embraced by the grace of God. That could literally be what it is. I mean, I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm not her, right? And I'm not in her mind. And I'm not in the circles that are telling her to, go up and do be on the show, take over the show, right? But I truly believe that one of the reasons why she is on the show right now is because she's saying, F the people who are trying to silence us, and I'm not going to be silenced. That's the vibe I'm getting. Like, you can sit here all day long thinking that you got Charlie Kirk's voice silenced, but that's not true. We going to continue, and we going to push forward, right? That's kind of the vibe I got. You know what I mean? Regardless if it looked fake or not, right? Or looks forced or not. I think that's the reason why that she was on the show. Like, he is an extension of me, so I'm not going to stop. You could try to shut us up, but I'm his partner, and now I'm going to talk now. Now you're going to have to hear my voice and be annoyed by what I have to say. You know what I mean? That's the vibe I got. But I do think it was early. It was too soon. It's too soon. I do think it's too soon. You know? Like, too soon. For sure. Right? But let me play this clip, okay? Just back to the conversation about what I was talking about the assailant at the assailant for the Mormon church, okay?
On alert after a gunman rammed his car into a packed church in Michigan, shooting at the worshipers and then setting the building on fire.
So at least 4 are dead in the attack, and law enforcement feared that the death toll could grow.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt joins us now to react from the White House. Caroline, we all watched this in horror yesterday. Is there anything that you've been briefed with that could move this story forward to find out what the motive might have been?
Well, first of all, I want to express our sincere condolences to the victims and their families and all of the members of this church who were gathering on a Sunday in the United States of America to worship Jesus Christ. And a crazed gunman rammed his truck into the church and started firing at these innocent Americans. And our hearts break. The president was very quick to put out a statement completely condemning this and assuring the American people that the FBI is on the scene. And I spoke with our FBI director, Cash Patel, bright and early this morning. He assured me and the American public that the FBI is currently executing multiple search warrants at the residences and the family homes of this perpetrator to try to get to the bottom of why he would commit such an act of evil. And the FBI is working with both state and local law enforcement, providing the full support of the federal government. And I just want to commend state and local law enforcement for their swift and incredible response. Local police officers were on the ground of this scene within minutes and neutralized this shooter, no doubt saving lives. And they should be commended. Our police officers are heroes, and this president will always respect them and support them.
They definitely were. They were there in 32 seconds, Caroline. What did the FBI director tell you about the shooter? What do we know?
What we know at this point in time is that he was a member of this Michigan community, that he is a veteran of our United States Armed Forces. He served in the United States Marine Corps in Iraq. His family is cooperating with the FBI. And so they are currently trying to dig in and get to the bottom of why he committed this heinous act of violence. It's unfathomable. And as the president rightfully put in his Truth Social yesterday, this appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians. And
you heard it right there. There it is. There it is. It is a targeted attack on Christians. Yep. A targeted attack on Christians. So instead of it just being a monster that did what he did, and a targeted attack on this particular church, okay, and, now it's Christians. Because they can't use damn dammies. They can't say loser leftists with this one. Can't say, oh, the guy was trans or had a trans furry boyfriend chilling on weird Discord chat rooms. Nope. This was a guy who definitely was conservative, was a Trump supporter, ex-veteran, ex-Marine, who had a severe mental health issue that did what he did. Not trans, not a furry, not a member of the LGBTQ plus community. A father, a husband, and a person who served his country. So, of course, where's the spin? Oh, he's a Christian, or it's an attack on Christians. Like I said, if they can't find it one way, they're going to find it another. And they're going to try to spin it in a way so that there is some sort of divisiveness. Again, it's frustrating because we live in a world where there's so many other people out here. Like I said, there are so many Republicans that are Jewish, Republicans that are Muslim, Republicans that are of other religions. But it's now an attack on these Christians, these good Bible-thumping Christians. Yes, what happened there is absolutely terrible. We covered it for hours on, we covered that for hours on a show when it all went down. It's terrifying. Many people that were in there are deeply traumatized. But again, they're trying to find that East versus West, that blood versus Crips situation. That's all they're trying to do. They're trying to separate these bad things from the Republican Party as best as they can. Look at how this guy, see, and if he was left, for a fact everybody and their mama would be running with that and drilling that without a shadow of a doubt. The internets would be losing their minds too. But right now, because this guy is actually a Republican and it was a supporter of Trump, it's crickets. You didn't notice that there's been crickets? Even from the internet streets? Do you see the hypocrisy? Like I said, as soon as it's somebody on the left, they go crazy. In fact, let me point this out, and this is true. We were doing the live, covering that tragedy, and there was all kinds of information coming out. Oh, here he is. He's black. Here he is. There was another one where somebody was like, oh, here he is. He's trans. He's some crazy Antifa. None of it was true. Just a crazed lunatic that actually was a Trump supporter. But as soon as they found out about that information, everyone who was like, oh, he's a crazy such and such. Damn leftist. Oh, he's oh. Shoot. They got quiet. Now, some people are trying to move the goalpost and saying some of the content that has been put out here by mainstream media is AI. They're saying, oh, these photos of him wearing something about like liberals' tears. Okay. It's a Trump shirt. They'll sit there and go, oh, no, that's AI. It's fake. Mainstream media, the people, the powers that be, changed that out to make it look like he's some Trump supporter, but he's not. No, he is. Where the hell are you? What the hell are you on? So again, the hypocrisy is palpable out here. And it's frustrating because, like I said, the spin happens. And everything has to be east side or west side. It can't just be people just doing evil things. Like what Tyler Robinson allegedly did is evil. He's just a face of evil, in my personal opinion. He's not somebody who is just some crazy left-wing radicalized leftist or some hardcore psycho conservative. He's somebody who did something really, really bad, right? Same thing with all these other tragedies that we have seen. But again, like I said, the spin just keeps on spinning and it just don't stop. And I'm hoping someday things change, but I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I hate to be a negative Nancy about that, but I just don't see it changing anytime soon. You know, one thing's for sure. When Trump lost a piece of his ear, he did say, we need to be together more than we've ever been. We need to be unified as a country more than we've ever been. Now, I got to be honest. This is before he got elected, before he won this election. But he even said himself, we need to be unified. And where's that now? That energy's gone. That energy is gone. I very much am worried about the future of our country. I really am. I'm really, really worried. But this is the moment where we need to be together more than anything. And we need to stop looking at each other because you're wearing a MAGA hat or because somebody else is wearing a like some Kamala Harris t-shirt or something crazy like that. Or they're wearing a rainbow flag on their shirt. Like, we need to find a better way to talk. We need a better way to communicate with each other. And we need to start taking care of each other. Hold on. Stop. Okay, I can't show you the video. I can't show you the photo, but I do want to share this with you. This was 4 hours ago. They're saying breaking. I don't know if this is if this is true, that's insane. But they're saying in Delaware, federal authorities released press statement regarding they're saying I don't know if it is, but an IED disguised as common household items known as a fleshlight. I can't show you the piece, but it's a toy. If you get what I'm saying, it's an S toy. And they're showing a bomb squad guy like trying to dismantle this fleshlight. I'm not kidding. That was 4 hours ago. But anyway, sorry, I'm just checking a few things. Here's the other thing. Okay, so they're saying there's only what? Now it's going to be 9 hours left until the government shutdown takes effect if they don't reach a deal. We are living in some wild times, y'all. We're living in some wild times. Okay. So again, let me just check. I'm just going to see if there's any. Dear Lord. Sorry, Jillian Michaels. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. Yeah, everybody's losing their minds over Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. Okay. It is what it is. It's okay. People are wanting to know what that is. It's a toy. That's all I could say. All right. It's a toy. It's a spicy toy. Long story short. Which isn't. Yeah. It's a toy. So apparently a boom boom device was in a bang bang device. And they were literally like crouching around this toy, trying to open it up to see if there was an actual boom boom device inside that toy. That's crazy. You see what I'm saying? It's you know, just look it up. Google it. I'm not Googling it for you because I'm not showing you guys that stuff. Okay? You know, it's a toy. All right? A boom boom device inside a bang bang device. Okay? Yes, a lonely man toy. That's a good idea. That's a good point right there. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So that's what there's crazy. We're living in some crazy times. So it's this is basically one big ass prank. You understand that, right? It's just one fat ass prank. What's going on? And one place had a toy. And they said that there was a device in that toy. And they have to take it seriously. They have to. Because if it's true, yeesh. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I did go there. It's a boom boom device inside of a bang bang device. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's something that Diddy has used a multitude of times. All right. Long story short. But guys, I got to wrap up. Okay. Of course, if there's anything else, we'll talk about it. Okay. We'll talk about it for sure. Okay. But just be on the lookout because I might be back on this, very, very soon. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully everything stays calm. Okay. But that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. Of course, if there's any more information, I'll let you guys know. Okay. Praying for everybody. It's just been a crazy day of all kinds of stuff that's been popping off. Yeah, maybe I'll be back. Maybe I'll be back on News Nation soon. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Always have a good time being on there. But I'll let you guys know if that ever happens again. All right. But again, I appreciate you guys so much. But again, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do it, or do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these platforms. Please and thank you. Of course, please make sure you're following. Of course, subscribe here on my main channel here on YouTube. Go to my second and third channel, The Pascal Show Clips and Pascal Raw. Subscribe over there as well. That'd be greatly appreciated, okay? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. I will be seeing you guys very, very soon. All right? So keep an eye. All right? We might be back on very, very soon, okay? So talk to you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.